event.
Oh.
I don't think
Hi everyone! We're live again. So today we're making this beef soup. It's very yummy, very simple, very easy to make, but it's hearty and it's gonna warm up your soul, okay? I promise you. And today I have two special guests, okay? They're really special, okay? Why? Because they live very close to North Pole. Okay, very cold and Alaska-ish, North Pole-ish, Alaska. And they come here always when they visit in Seattle. It's always during winter time, so which is around Christmas time. So we always get to see them around Christmas time, and they're from North Pole-ish, right? So my kids believe that they're the Mr. and Mrs. Claus. You know, they might be. I'm just saying. Wink, wink. They might be. You never know. All right. Let me introduce you, Donna and Carol.
Hello.
Hi. See. What do you think? What do you think? Right? And of course, my little girl. Oh, see. And my little girl, Lyra. Lyra's totally like, whoa, so cool. Santa's at our house. Beat that, people. Beat that. All right, let's get started and see the daylight, right? We finally see daylight now. This is when Seattle gets really beautiful. All right, and my cameraman.
All right.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. So this soup, okay, the finished look of this soup looks like I forgot again, what was that? The ripple?
The ripple?
The ripples in the lake. Yeah. So people name, and it's so yummy. So we name it, Chinese people name it after one of the most beautiful lakes in China. It's the West Lake, okay? And around that lake, it's beautiful, and then it's all, because that area is very humid too. And it's very beautiful. And they have a lot of those weeping widows.
Willows.
Willows, not widows. That wouldn't be pretty. Weeping willows that around the lake and make it the whole ambience just always romantic, and people row boats on it and sing and fall in love. Look at this girl. Oh my God, too early. She's already like, I need to be there.
Sounds like kind of nice.
Yes, and it sounds kind of like our Lake Washington, right? Because we have a lot of weeping willows around the lake, and we're pretty. We have ripples too. So today, since we're here, we're gonna name it ChiaChia's Lake Washington Beef Soup. Ha ha. Yes. All right, I claim that name. Okay, I have that name. All right. So how easy is this soup? Let's get started. Okay. So it's a beef soup. So of course you're gonna have beef. Okay. Most people use ground beef, but let me tell you, don't use ground beef, because sometimes ground beef is too lean. Because this, when it's too lean, when you're eating because this is a very subtle dish. There's no fancy ingredients. So if you use ground beef, it's too dry, and then also ground beef is hard to break apart like really fine. Did you find like sauteed ground beef? Sometimes I have to really, cut it in, spread them out. But in a soup, it's hard to break them. So I use, I cheat. I use these kind of, you want to make sure it's quality hot pot beef slice. So they have beautiful marble. Okay, and what I do is I cut them lengthwise to about this big. Okay, here.
Just strips.
Right, strips. Okay, like this. And I really thinly.
What kind of cut of meat is that?
This should be like the ribeye kind of meat. And then I thinly slice them. So they're small enough to like ground meat, but they're not that small. So when they go in, they break apart on their own. You don't even need to do anything, okay? This is one tip, okay? If you didn't watch the whole thing, you skipped the videos, don't blame me. I did give you tips. My friends blame me like, oh, you didn't say. I was like, I did. And she goes, oh, I skipped it. I was like, oh, then that's not my fault. All right, okay. So that's the beef. And then another thing that's making this dish so yummy is the mushroom, okay? In the soup, you probably need about 15 to 20 heads of these kind of mushrooms. And of course, you take the stem away, and then you slice them, thinly slice them like this. Okay, this is just a demo for you guys. And one more thing, cilantro. That's gonna give it color and a little, spice it up a little bit because it's not a fancy like tons of like soy sauce. No, okay, it's just salt and white pepper, ground white pepper. And then we need the egg to make that ripple result. Okay, and of course a little cornstarch to thicken it up just a tiny little bit and also make the egg very smooth and tender. All right, should we get started? What you need to do, and this dish I really like is, you know, when I host a dinner party, I like to have dishes that you can prepare ahead of time. So it's not like when people come and then you have to crunch and do everything together and then being busy and not being able to talk to people. So you want to look graceful when you cook, right? So I like this dish because you can cook half of it ahead of time. You can cut your mushroom ahead of time and just boil a pot of hot water and just put them in and let it cook for 5 minutes, simmer for 5 minutes and just leave it. So look, so I did it early in the morning and look at the color of the soup. It's very brown, right? There's not a drop of soy sauce. It's just the mushroom give it color. So, and also because if you pre-slice your mushrooms, you do know that the white part changes color. So in the end, it doesn't look good. So I like to cut them in the morning early on and then just put them in a hot water and just let it cook up for 5 minutes and turn the heat off and wait until we're ready to serve. But if you're gonna do everything together, that's fine too. Just let it cook for 5 minutes and then continue to the next step, all right? So now look, I need this broth to be boiling on high heat. And here's another tip. Do not dump the whole thing in because then you get those brown bubbles. Like when you cook raw meat, right, you get brown bubbles and it makes it ugly, right? So we don't want that. So when you use high heat, you drop a little bit at a time so you don't get that. So it's kind of like shabu shabu, like a hot pot thing. You just, because when it goes in a little bit at a time, it cooks right away. It doesn't get that as much brown bubbles thing in there. Here, see? And they break apart on their own. You don't need to do anything. Tip, tip, tip. I give tips. But you cannot skip the videos. Here. And see, I did not season this beef at all. Some people do, but if you do get quality meat, you really don't need to. This is the soup. I like that, you know, it's simple and then you get quality ingredients and you just taste the taste of that ingredients. It's beautiful. You don't need to add too much things in there. See, this is good. Don't worry about it getting too boiling. It's good. So you don't get the brown bubble thing. Oh, so I did putting about 18 heads of mushrooms. And at the beginning, you'll think, oh my God, the mushroom is taking over the whole pot. So you're thinking it's too much. Don't worry about it. It's gonna shrink down like what you see now. Originally, it's like piling up, but that's okay. Because they shrink down and it will be perfect. All right, who wants to try? No, not just, probably not you. You want to try? Do you guys want to try or? Ooh, come on. Here.
Oh, you mean putting it in?
Yeah, oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Whoa, good at chopsticks. Look at that. Is it fun?
It is fun.
And that is the most
Just a
time.
little bit at a time.
Yeah, but this is the most time consuming part of this soup. The rest of it, so fast, so easy. Is it too hot for your hand? Okay. Women, we have tough hands because we work in the kitchen. My husband's like always, my cameraman, aka cameraman, always, too hot. And I'll be like, honey, this is just warm.
Tough chick.
I'm a tough chick.
Tough dragon.
Tough dragon. And you will have a little bit the bubble, and that's fine. We will filter it out later.
I was wondering if I was getting too big chunks.
No, you're okay. See, in total, probably this is not even 2 minutes yet, right? Or about 2 minutes. We'll be done with the meat really soon. And then the rest of the step is probably less than 2 minutes. You just need to starch it and then put the egg in. And oh, about the egg, there's another tip too, so don't skip yet.
Oh.
And then the last bit, the very last bit is put in to season it, right? And then the very last part is to put on the cilantro right before you serve, because cilantro, when you overcook it, it gets yellowish. It doesn't look good. So you want it to be fresh when you're right before you serve. So the leftover tastes good, but sometimes it's just cilantro in there. It doesn't look as good, but it will taste good. So it could be like the next day morning, put it on top of rice, hearty breakfast.
So this is just water and mushrooms.
Uh-huh. Not even chicken broth or
Oh my
anything.
gosh.
Yeah. Very easy, but then later you would taste that. Because you know, they say MSG is bad for you, right?
Mhm.
But actually they said MSG is extracted from some kind of
It's naturally in
naturally
mushrooms.
in mushrooms, yeah. So mushroom gives you this
They call it umami.
umami, that's right.
Ooh.
Ta!
I'm getting there.
All right, the last part of the bee, we can just put them all in. Okay.
More.
All right. Now, I am, thank you. Okay,
Oh, okay.
oh, that's okay. All right. So I like to do this when it's hot boiling, because then everything is in the center. It's easy to catch the brown bubbles, right? So it's easy to get them, so it's not floating everywhere. They'll gather together in the center, and then you'll get them easily. And like now, we're done. All right. Okay. What's next is, so I have about 1.5 cup of cornstarch, and I'm gonna add in about the same amount of water. 1.5. How much? Tablespoons.
Spoons.
Yeah. That would be scary.
I know. I was like, what?
I know.
Good.
We'll be eating cake, right? Oh, that's funny. All right. Okay. Excuse me. Let me get a spoon. Here and chopsticks. All right. Okay. So this is now when we're gonna thicken it. Okay. Not only we need to thicken it, but then I think the main purpose. Okay, I'm gonna put in half first. The main purpose of it is to make a lot of Chinese soup or gravy kind of thing. If we have egg drop on top of it, most of the time we will starch that broth, just so the egg itself will always stay very tender and smooth. It will, yeah, it will look like you just put them in and you never overcook it. Right, I think I'll need the whole thing. And remember, again, when you're thickening, starching something, you always want to bring it to boil, because then is the true consistency. Before you bring it to boil, it will look thinner than it would be. Okay, so now this is starched, thickened a little bit. We don't need too much, because this is not a gravy, this is a soup, so you don't want it too thick. Okay, now here is the tip. You want this to be medium heat, and it's boiling, make sure it's boiling. Okay, so last time when we do the shrimp gravy thing, did you guys watch that one, the shrimp gravy
Yes,
one? Okay,
yes.
so we want the egg to be large and, you know, a big piece, right?
A bit chunky.
A little bit chunky, yes. But this time we want it to look like the ripples. So what you need to do is you have to use your chopsticks, okay? Something really small and thin. Don't use a spoon. You're gonna make a splash and messy. Just do like this, okay? So make sure this, how do you say it? This yeah, is going on, and you slowly drop it, a little bit at a time. You want to be fast. The faster you are, the smaller the eggs will be. This is the tip.
I'm always always wondered how, I've tried to do that and never been successful. Now I see.
Because you need to own chopsticks. All right, look at that.
How many eggs did you use?
1 egg. All right. Right? So now it's the ripple, okay? This is why it's called the Westlake beef soup, because this looks like the ripple. Now I'm gonna season it with some salt, okay? And some ground white pepper. Some people like it this way, some people don't, so it doesn't really matter. This is optional. We'll do a little bit. And at the very last, this kind of clay pot, amazing. Once you turn the heat off, it's still going, you know? Okay, now we put this in. This is about 1.5 cup or so, I think. Put them in. Okay. Give it a good stir. Look at this. This gives it color.
I love that soup,
That is
but
beautiful.
but we don't really have it really often.
Oh, really? Oh, you're complaining? I'll make it more often for you. Is that okay? All right, let's try it. It's really hot, so be careful.
So beautiful.
This is our Lake
This
Washington.
is amazing, the way the egg is.
It has to be
is-
thin.
It, it looks like
You
lace.
smell the
in
mushrooms.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Mushrooms are just.
The umami. Lara, want to try it?
Yeah.
Oh my.
And see this, you know, not much seasoning. It's just this,
It's
all the
delicious.
ingredients,
That's amazing.
the magic of all the ingredients together.
And that lovely mushroom flavor. Yeah.
See, you don't need MSG. We don't do
Oh.
MSG, right? You just have to have the right ingredients.
Mm.
So is it a thumbs up?
It is a thumbs up.
Yay! Hey, Santa Claus is happy with my cooking. You know what I'm gonna get this year. Oh, yes. And I have my blog up and going. It's a terrible looking blog because I'm still learning what I want and how to do all the things that I want for the blog, the look of the blog. But at least I will put all the complete recipe and the video on the blog so it's easier for you guys to track it and to have the full recipe and ingredients and everything, okay? So remember, like the video, like the post, share the post, and get on my blog and leave comments. Let me know you visited and share with your friends. Okay, thank you.
Yum.
Bye.
Bye.
We're gonna have dinner now.